We ready?
Mm-hmm.
We on?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't see it on the page. Mhm. Okay, there we go. We are on. All right. Let me share it with you so we can get started. Okay, I just sent it to you. You get it?
It said attachment unavailable.
Is that no? That shouldn't be it.
Okay.
Okay, there we go.
I wonder why I do that. You tag my
Which page?
you tagging on my page,
Uh-huh.
Monica Lusk.
Yes, I did. All right, we're gonna get started. Tag her in there. He finna tag you. All right. Thank you for tuning in to Hot Tea Time. We're gonna get started. We had difficulties at this time, but we're gonna get started. I'm with Monica, a wonderful friend of mine. I'm so glad she decided to come and chill with me on tonight, so we can talk about the tea that we have going on around the city, outside the city, around the world. We're gonna go everywhere. We got some stuff to talk about. Okay, Monica, how you been doing?
I have been amazing. Have you been?
I've been wonderful. It's so glad that we can catch up. We haven't seen each other in forever.
Okay,
I know.
So it's like a reunion.
It is. I mean, I hadn't seen you in. How long has it been? It's been.
It's been a very
minute.
long time. Yeah, probably.
No, I seen you at the Jamboree.
Oh yeah.
we
But
did.
prior to that, it probably been about 7 years.
Yeah, it has been.
So it's been a long time.
So, yeah, so we're gonna get started. We have a lot to talk about and get in on. I got a call. I don't know why. Hello.
I couldn't hear nothing.
You can't hear nothing. Can you hear now?
I can hear you nothing. I guess y'all wasn't talking. You was just looking at your
No, we wasn't talking at that time. We talking now. We good.
Okay, all right.
Okay, you call back in though.
Okay. I'm finished.
Okay, bye bye. All right, so we're gonna jump into our topic, so we won't go over time on tonight. So we're gonna jump right in. But I really want to talk about you right now. So tell us some things that's going on with you. It's been so long. I know that it's a lot of things going on in your life that you have new things going on. When we met each other years ago, we both was starting out doing hair.
Yes.
We both was starting out doing hair. So
I
it
think
was
you was already established, because I think at the time when I first met you, you was doing someone that works on the news here.
okay. Yeah, I was doing. What was her name?
It wasn't Kim Clark, was it?
I done a couple of them hair that was on. The
Okay,
news.
I remember it was the one I always wore really pretty curly hair.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
that was
she
when I
moved-
very
she
first
moved to
started.
Florida.
Yes,
She moved
that's
to Florida.
exactly who
Yeah.
I'm talking about. Okay, I can't remember her name though,
Right.
but yes,
She
I remember
moved
you told me she moved.
Yeah, she moved to Florida. Yes, but it's been hair has taken off for you.
Yes, it
It's
has.
doing great
And
things for you.
and I think like at first I did hair because I was always a visual learner, so I did hair because I saw it and I was like, oh, I can redo that.
Uh-huh.
So I kind of learned how to do hair by being a visual learner.
Okay.
And so since then, I've been able to do some amazing things with hair. I've done some things that I never thought that I could do, and I've been some places that I never thought I could have gone, all because of doing hair.
That is wonderful. I have to tell people that it could take you a lot of places if you allow it to. if you allow your gift to make room for you, it will take you places. And sometimes we get too big for ourselves and not be humble about what we're doing.
Absolutely.
And that's what I like about you. You're humble about what you're doing, and it's not show and tell. You know, you got to show everybody every time you're doing something. It's just known that you're doing it. You know, so it's a blessing within itself that we're known to be blessed.
Yeah.
You know, so and we were known back then as go-getters. We were going to get what we wanted.
Absolutely.
And we were gonna make it, you know, so that's good to know. And so now you have been Miss Everybody. And it's just so excited. I'm so excited for you that you have touched most of your dreams that you went after. You have touched most of them, and you still achieving those dreams. So that's a wonderful thing that I admire about you, that you have been touching them and receiving them and reaching your goals. So that's a good thing.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
a
this
lot.
is so good. And I'm so excited for you about your career and where it has taken you to, and where we started from. You know,
Absolutely.
because some people don't realize that when you reach outside of your normal, it's kind of hard to go outside of Memphis and go to different places because you don't know how you're going to be received.
Mm-hmm.
And it's good. I guess when I was doing it, it was kind of harder for me because I was pretty much touching it by myself. You know, it's like everybody's kind of moving together right now. But when I was doing it, it was like it was one or two people that was helping me reach the people that I would normally touch. You know, as far as doing hair.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it was okay for me. I'm glad I was able to, and I can say I have done it, and I'm still doing it. You know, so I'm excited for you that you are really, you know, working for BET and you're doing celebrity hair and everything. It's so exciting.
Look, and I understand what you say when you say it was hard. I think my biggest lesson about doing hair was I always wanted to be that person that didn't mind showing people how to do certain stuff because it was shown to me. So I believe that I was so blessed with doing hair because there was always someone showing me something. And in return, I believed in sharing the knowledge without trying to charge somebody for the knowledge. I've always thought that if I shared the knowledge that I learned for free with someone else, God already will have something in line for me bigger and better than what I could ever imagine. And he has shown me that, you know, just from me sharing the knowledge that I learned from someone, sharing it with other people for free and not trying to get anything in return, God has blessed me more than I could ever imagine. Just from being nice.
Yeah.
And when you say hard, yeah, it was, I think, so in most cases, I think it was much harder for someone like myself than it was for you because most women like not gay, but most women like gay men and men to do their hair. So it's kind of like, as a man, you had it a lot easier than I would. And only because, number one, I was trans, number one, and then so most of the time women perceive me as being female, so they gave me a much harder time versus I worked in a salon with a guy he was straight though, he was a straight guy, and he did hair as well, but I noticed that he really couldn't do hair at all. He did terrible hair. Right. And he had a much easier time in a larger clientele than I did, and I could really do hair. So I was like, oh, wow. But I noticed that a lot of women like men to do their hair, and I get it now.
Well, the reason I say it was hard for me is because in the industry, when I went to L.A., when I went to different places, for me to try to step into the realm of doing hair, it's already populated. So by being already populated, they felt like I was a triple threat because I did hair, made clothes, and you weren't gonna have to go nowhere else. So it was hard. They wouldn't let me in. They wouldn't let
Look,
me
you
in.
had too much.
Yeah, I had too much going on. They wouldn't let you in. You're not getting in here. So after they say they're gonna help you, it's like
Yeah.
you'll get the stories back.
A lot of times when
Like,
people
that's
perceive you as a threat, they'll make it hard for you.
Yeah,
I've
sure.
seen it. Yeah,
Yeah,
a
I'm
lot,
sure.
a whole lot.
Yeah, I'm sure. So we're gonna jump right in onto our relationship question for today. Do you really know your spouse?
That's a good question. I think a lot of people don't really know their spouse. I think now, being in a relationship now is not really getting to know someone. Everybody is doing this fast track thing now with dating, to where it's, if they meet you on Saturday, next Saturday you have a key to their house. The following Saturday y'all in a serious
no key
relationship,
to my house.
and then a month later they talking about they're engaged.
You get no key. You know key.
Dang, you know.
You get no key to my house.
I've seen it. I'm like,
I know.
Well, hold on now. Didn't you just meet him,
Right.
or didn't you just meet her?
Right.
Like, how y'all go together already?
Right.
I don't know. I just believe in old school dating, like getting to know people. Like, because a lot of times when we meet people, we're actually meeting their representative, so we're never really meeting them.
Right.
Like, because I know myself, I have been a person of that same thing. I always present my representative first, because I
Right.
was like, let me just see what kind of person I'm finna meet.
Right.
And when I reveal my real self, then it's like they don't reveal their real self. So, I always let them reveal their real self first.
Before
So
you-
then I reveal my real self, and I'll be like, child, why we wasting each other's time?
Right. So at this point, how do you how long is the dating process for you, or do you think it should take?
I think that everyone should make decisions when they feel most comfortable.
When they feel a week is it.
A week? You said a week?
I said they feeling a week is it. I said me.
Jesus. I have dated someone. This is so crazy though. I dated a guy for 3 years, and within the 3 years, I got to know him, but he didn't let me really meet him until year 2.
Oh,
So the first 2 years I dated him, I was dating his representative.
okay.
And so I didn't meet him, the real him, until the 3rd year.
Oh,
So I don't even know.
so were y'all dating or were y'all conversating?
No, we were dating.
Oh.
We were actually dating.
Okay.
And I was, I dated him for so long because I wanted us to really get to know one another, because I was like, I done had a boyfriend before. I want to know what it feel like to actually date someone and have a possible husband.
Right.
So we dated for 3 years, and we did a long distance we were in a long distance courtship. So that kind of worked for us for the first 2 years. And so he decided that he was going to transfer college and come to college here so that we can see how it would be living together.
Right.
And so by year 3, we decided that we were going to take it seriously. So the moment we call ourselves going to be in a relationship seriously is when it all ended.
Really?
Yes.
So
That's so crazy. I don't understand it, but it ended. It's like, okay, now he can be who he really is.
Right.
And I thought I was being who I really was at the time. And it's like, once we decided, okay, we're going to date seriously.
Right.
And it's like, oh, child, who is this? Because I didn't even know who he was anymore.
right,
So I was like, why did I waste 3 years of my life with this foolishness?
right.
And he probably felt the same way.
So, with that being said, do you feel that if you did it over, you would do things different, or how do you, how would you look at that?
I most definitely would do things different. Number one, I would go ahead and present. I do this now though.
Mm-hmm.
I present who I really am, just right up front.
And I
You
think
know.
that's what we should do, because when you don't show someone who you are, it becomes a problem in the end. because I'm gonna let you know off the back. I'm set in my ways. I'm kind of old, and I'm not. I don't have time.
Kind of
for
old?
bullshit.
What you mean kind of old? People don't get old till they like 80.
Shit. I go to bed at night.
That's not old though. That means you work.
Oh, okay. That's what it is. Okay, 'cause I go to
Listen,
bed.
I'm telling you, my friends joke with me all the time because I have the exact same phone number, and I've had this number probably about 18 years, and I always tell people that just shows stability.
I had the same number too.
Yeah, that's not old. That means I'm stable. That means I have stability in my life.
Right. And I have the same number for the same length of time. I never would change my number. You can play on my phone. I'm gonna play on yours. I'm gonna call you back in the morning because I get up very early, so I'm gonna play on yours when I get up.
When they sleep.
When they sleep.
That's me.
Right,
That's
I'll get your ass back.
Cause
But
I'm up by
not
4. So if you playing on my phone, I'm gonna catch you at 4. By 4:10, I done got all the calls out the way.
Right.
I done called all y'all back.
Right. And so with that being said, I'm keeping my number. I'm not changing my number. It's not gonna happen. I'm keeping it. Same number. You can call it many times, hang up, whatever you want to do. I'm keeping this number. But I don't have no problems.
Yeah.
I don't have
Okay.
a problem. I'm past that. I'm not doing it.
But I don't think it's really stuck in your ways. I think, well, yeah, it is, because I'm like that. Like I like things a certain way, so I think that kind of scared me a lot with dating too, is because I like things like I like structure,
Right.
And even like in my everyday life, I still have a planner, and I mean I write down everything I'm doing at the time that I'm supposed to be doing it. Sometimes it don't go quite at the time, but it's very close to it. So I still like structure in my life, and I don't know. I'm just, that may
When
be
is your
kind of
birthday?
November 21st.
Oh, well, that's the problem.
Scorpio.
We're both doing the same thing.
You a Scorpio?
Yes. November 1st. I got a planner.
Oh God!
I got a big ass planner too. I do.
Really?
Yes.
And I like structure. Wow, I did not know that.
Yes. I have a planner. And we didn't know this. This is crazy. This is really crazy. And I have a planner. And when you said that, I'm like, oh shit. Really? I'm thinking it's just me. But it's not.
No, I like structure. I
do
do. And I know things don't always go the way that we want them to go.
Right.
But I try to at least have an idea on how my day is gonna go or what it's supposed to go like.
Right. Okay. And I think I planned out the same way. I pretty much need to know exactly what I'm going to do and how I'm going to do it. And I try to make sure that everything go to plan. Even getting to the shop on time to getting off on time. I tried to plan exactly.
Oh
on
wow, I
time.
did not know that.
Yes, I tried. That's what I do. If I'm gonna get here at 6 o'clock, I'm here at 6 o'clock. If I'm here at 5, I'm here at 5, and I'm on time. This is very seldom that you catch me not on time.
Wow, that's crazy. I had no idea you was a Scorpio, so now I know that it's
Yeah.
not just me.
It's not just you. It's not just you. Yeah. So, I guess other than knowing your spouse, I think me knowing my spouse, it takes time because I really want to know what they like, what their triggers are, what's their thinking, or the mind process, because I like like-minded people.
Okay.
I think that you need to be like-minded, because if you're like-minded, you very seldom have problems in your relationship. But if you find someone that do not have the same mindset as you, then that's where the problems come in. Because then you come with someone that want to stay out, want to go out, want to just be in the streets, and that's not you. But to get to know them, you put yourself in that position, and it starts to get ugly to you because you start to hate it, and it's hard for you to tell them that you don't like it until they hit that point, and you like, hell no, I'm not doing this no more. You know, I'm not doing. I'm not. So somebody called in and got something to say. Hello.
In the comments on Facebook, please.
Oh, the comments on Facebook. Put the comments on Facebook. Oh, you said look at the comments. What they saying? Tell
They
us.
said personally for them, they have to hang out with a person for like 3 months before they even think about getting into a relationship.
They have to hang out with someone for like 3 months before they think about getting into a relationship. That's a good thought. You know, I guess, and honestly, I don't think that's long enough because I don't really think you get to know the real person in 3 months. You know, but
I have met some straightforward people before in my life. I've not a lot, but I've met very few though that actually tell you who they are when you meet them. My best friend, for instance, he is going to tell you exactly who he is when he meets you. He is not going to sugarcoat it. He ain't going to care how you feel about it. He is going to tell you just straight head on who he is.
And you should.
But you meet very few people like that.
Right.
Like,
that's true.
And then we have to question ourselves, like, do we really want to know who
that?
they? Yes. Do we want to deal with it? Do we
that?
really want to know who you really are in the beginning?
Right.
Because that could be a tricky thing. Like, as if I met someone like my best friend just straight off in the beginning, I'd be like, "Child, this fool done lost his mind. He better get away from me."
Right. You got any more comments?
Yeah, somebody else said they need more structure. They need more lessons on structure.
They need more lessons on structure. Oh, well, it's a book. It's a whole book. It's a whole book.
So for me, structure kind of helps me in my just in my personal life and my business life though, because a lot of people like professionalism, and structure is a component of professionalism though. So with structure, it'll help you be professional, like in your everyday life and your work life. Yeah. And a lot of people you'll get if you are an entrepreneur, I realize that a lot of people don't like entrepreneurs because they think that a lot of them lack professionalism. And I think that if you mix structure in your life, then you'll see your business flourish and grow in a whole nother way.
Yeah. Okay, I can agree with that. Anything else? No? Okay. So we're going to move on to friends. Woo. Okay, so you can be friends with people for years and find out that you guys were never friends. Yeah.
I do think that's true.
It is true. I mean, I'm sure with you changing, flourishing, and doing better with your business and moving forward, a lot of people feel like that you feel like you better, or you done arrived, or some people feel that way. Some people feel that I feel like I'm more than everybody else, and it's a lot of stigmatism come with that, because some friends want you to be that same friend you was when you was in high school. But we can't be that friend because, first of all, life changed for us. We got bills, we got financial obligations and stuff like that. We can't be that same person. And they feel like, oh, you changed. I have, and still change.
I think that if someone calls themselves your friend, the first thing they're going to want you to do is evolve in life. Especially someone who's your real friend.
Right.
I don't think there is anything wrong with changing. I think that we shouldn't forget where we came from, but we're not obligated to stay where we came. Yes, we shouldn't stay there. I think that's with anyone. You should never want to stay where you were in your past. My past was, growing up in the hood, and I knew that deep down inside, I didn't want to stay there forever.
Right.
I knew that it was more to this.
Right.
My uncle told me just yesterday, he said the reason why he did so well in school was because growing up, the only thing they did was church and home. he said that he did so well in school because he knew that he wanted to get a full ride scholarship to go to any school in the world so that he would not have to return to Memphis. And he told me he felt like that because all they did at the time was church and home. So that made him study more and get further. He further educated himself so that he could leave and be able to go anywhere in the world he wanted to go. See, in my case, I think for me, I was told growing up by this guy from my neighborhood that I wasn't gonna be shit. He just simply told me, he said, "You're not gonna be shit he said, you ain't gonna be shit. You're just gonna be just like the rest of them. You ain't gonna be shit." So I used that same energy that he told me that I wasn't gonna be nothing in the world with. And that was my drive in life to make sure that I was successful in life. So even now, like when I find myself, like I've never had a job that I didn't get the job after the interview. I don't know what it is, but it's always like I know that if I make it to the interview phase of a job, I'm gonna get the job because I know that people, when you present yourself to people they'll go off what you present to them. I worked at Department of Human Service for 3 years and I didn't have a degree to first. And one of the requirements were you had to have a degree. But I knew that if I got the interview, I was gonna get the job. Right. So I think that it's sometimes it's all about us as a person. When you can I don't want to say I guess I gotta find words that I'm trying to say I gotta find the correct words to use when I'm trying to say that part. What I was gonna say.
It's okay. It's okay.
But it's crazy though. I used that though. My whole entire life was to make sure that I was successful in life.
Okay.
I have a question.
Okay.
Yes.
Sydney Austin want to know, how do you fall out and know that your secrets are safe?
Fall out
How
and
do you fall
no,
out with your friends and know that your secrets are safe? What went on between y'all when y'all fell out, before y'all fell out?
they're not safe because if y'all had a fallout and y'all didn't come back together, y'all were never friends. Because I can fall out with my best friend and we're still friends.
That's it.
So the thing is, if you can fall out with a person and y'all separate, that means y'all never was friends. If you were a friend to them, they coming back and you going back. Because guess what? Bitch, we were wrong. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're going to say. Bitch, I was wrong. Such, I'm sorry. Such, here, I'm back. You know what I'm saying? And you telling people, some people, your secrets too. The reason I can talk about this is because my mom had this same situation that I'm telling you about, which this girl is supposed to be her friend, but she was liking her husband. So, those secrets that you call yourself keeping with your friend, but she used your secrets to get with your mind.
See, and I think another thing too. A lot of times people utilize the word best friend a whole lot. They say best friends with the S,
Right.
And I think that something that had to be taught to me was, I think when people say best friends, I don't see how people have multiple best friends, because I've always looked at it as in my best friend, not friends with an S. The other people can be friends or associates, but when I say best, I mean that to me that signifies one. So, go ahead. You have more than one?
The reason why you can have more than one, because it's different seasons for different people. Some people don't make their season.
Oh God! See, my
I'm just-
best friend
I'm
is
just
my
saying
year-round friend.
No, I'm not saying like when I say seasons, I mean like when life changes for you.
Okay.
Like when like high school best friend.
Okay.
My high school best friend is still my best friend.
Okay.
Okay, and I got another best friend when I went to college.
Okay.
And you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
But I'm still friends with them, and we can pick up where we left off.
Okay. Okay.
It's not the kind of person that I talk to every day, but they're still my best friend, because if they need me, they know I'm going to be there for them.
See, and
You know
I
what
think
I'm saying?
I do. I have just one though, because I know this one that I have, I can tell him something, and I know that's between me and him, and
Yeah.
I know that whatever I tell him even if he get mad at me and stop speaking to me for a day, because he's not even a day, we probably gonna stop fussing, fighting on the phone, and then we back talking in 30 minutes or
Right,
so.
right.
But I know that whatever I say to him is gonna stay between us, and then it ain't gonna go no further. And if it got or went any further, I know exactly who to come to, because I know that I hadn't told anybody but this, and he know in return for me it's the same thing.
way.
Yes,
Right.
absolutely.
And I have
So
friends like that.
I'm not good with names. So having multiple, having a whole bunch of them, I wouldn't be good with that, because
Right.
I'm terrible
Right.
with names.
But now the problem come in when you bring all their ass together, because they don't want to hear that you got all these best friends.
See, there go the situation. There go the problem.
That's what the problem is. They don't want to hear that bullshit. I got a best friend that she gonna sit and look at you like, what the fuck? Where we going? What we doing? Who
How
is
long
this?
y'all been friends?
Right.
Because I ain't never knew nothing about
I
you.
ain't know nothing about her. Yeah. It's that kind of friend. Yeah. So that's it's true. But like I said, some things you're gonna have to take to your grave. You can't tell a person that y'all fall out and y'all not friends no more.
But you know what? Old people used to say that all the time. Whatever you don't want told, you don't say it.
Right.
You know, I learned that early on in life. This girl, when I was in school, in junior high, actually, I thought she was my best friend. No, high school, and I thought she was my best friend, and I told her something, and it wasn't 30 minutes later, everybody in the hallway knew what I told her.
That was your best friend.
Yeah.
Fuck her.
Question.
Fuck her. No. What's up?
Yeah, another question. They want to know: do you ever mix your friends during social gatherings?
No.
Why? You got 5 best friends. Why you don't mix them?
Because they not going to act right. They not going to act right. No. I already know that. No, my best friend, Charmin, is not going to act right. She's not going to act right at all. No. She going to show her ass. She going to show out. So that's enough for me. No.
So what do you do when you have like a birthday party and stuff?
I do it separate.
So you have to have 5 or 6 parties?
I do.
Oh, Jesus. See, that's a lot of work, and I ain't cut out for that.
I am. I like to entertain. So I like to
Okay.
entertain.
So you have all these
yeah.
different gatherings.
All these because she's not gonna mix well with others. And she have to do the most of the planning. So she not gonna act right. I'm just being honest. She not gonna act right. And you know she not gonna act right. Then I got Chris, he ain't gonna act right either.
See, I'm not good with that.
Chris had a comment. What did he say? What did Chris say? What did Chris Parker say? He said, read his comment, please. We going to it, Chris. We got to see what you said. Where the hell you talking there? We got to see where you talking there. Do you see? Well, keep going, keep going. You don't see Chris. He might be on YouTube. Go to YouTube. Check YouTube. He ain't on Facebook. Check YouTube.
Okay, yes.
Okay.
All right.
What did Chris say?
Well, they went on back to learning your spouse. Learning your spouse is an ongoing process. People grow, and with growth comes change. Mm-hmm. And then they also wrote a comment and said, "Do you believe in not mixing friends?" And then he said, "That's why they have assigned seating."
They have a classic. Yeah. See, there we go.
See, that's why I can't have multiples though. Like I have friends that I know. I have friends that I know I could mix with my best friend. I have a best friend that's gonna say anything. Yeah. He don't care who it is. He will say anything. I heard him have a conversation with my aunt, and I was sitting there like, I couldn't believe he was saying some of the stuff he was saying to my aunt, and she's an older woman. So in my head, I was saying, I don't care if I got 100 and she was 200. I couldn't have had that conversation with her. Like asking her, saying the questions and oh God, I was sitting there with my mouth open. I was in the next room and I was sitting there. I couldn't even move with some of the stuff he was saying or asking her, and they were talking about. I was saying, oh my God, like I couldn't have never said this.
Ooh.
Okay, they said you should try sitting the ratchets with the ratchets and the uppers with the uppers.
Ooh. Oh man. Oh man.
Or just mix them all and make it a party.
No, that ain't gonna work. I'm telling you. I've been in some situations where I just left the room because it didn't work. That
Oh,
right
wow.
there, it don't mix me. No. I just got up and left.
And see, I like a little ratchet, but I don't like too much though. Don't give me a lot of it. Give me a little bit of it though, because it's always a good time.
I guess. I don't know. Sometimes you can take it and sometimes you can't. I don't know. I don't know.
They said they don't recommend it either because then the next day they have to take 100 phone calls.
Right. See,
Oh, so the next day it turned into a counseling session.
Everybody's offended.
everybody be offended. They do because of the shit they say. Yeah. You
Wow.
be like, did you really just say that? You know, some of my family members I don't want to bring around to some of my gatherings. And some of them, you be like, God damn, why did he come? Why did they come? You know what I'm saying?
Really?
Shit, yeah. Because they'll say some shit. You know? No. Yeah, leave them. No. You be like, you watching what they say. Come on. You tell them, come on with me. Come on.
That's my mama. That's my mama all day.
Yeah.
Don't say that.
Don't say nothing. There. Yeah, you have to move.
And she can't whisper. She thinks she be whispering and be loud like she got a microphone.
Ooh. Yeah. So we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on to this mental health question. Depression and substance abuse. Mental health and substance abuse within our community.
Wow. I think we as a race, we're told at a young age that if you go seek help for mental health, you're crazy.
Yeah.
They automatically
That's it.
deem you as being crazy. And I think that here is the thing for me. I think parenting never comes with a book or a instruction manual or any kind of CD or anything like that. So people were only doing what they were taught. Yeah. So our race was taught a lot of times that seeking help make you crazy.
Go to prayer.
Yeah, and oh God, that's the first thing. And then we got our. We got our saved people. They're gonna say just pray about it. Well, here's the thing: people always say just pray about it, but prayer without work is dead. So we all know that. So just praying about it and leaving it alone a lot of times is not fixing the problem or the issue. And I think that we all need someone to talk to.
We do,
because we can call ourselves talking to our friends so much that we have put a lot more on to them. I have carried the weight of so many people for so long that I decided I don't want to be the person y'all talk to all the time. Y'all need to seek some more help. Like, cause it's much easier to talk to someone you don't know, cause they ain't got to take it home. But since I know, I be like, child, I got to stay and figure out how I got to fix this between them, or what she done or what he done.
Cause when I hang up the phone, I'm done with. Fuck that. That's your problem. I'm here.
And see, I be up all night trying to figure out how I'm gonna fix this.
Call me. I'm here for it because I want to hear it.
I have a question. Okay. What are y'all thoughts on medication for mental health?
I think a lot of people need medication. They need medication because they need to be able to stabilize them. Because a lot of times, right now, the pandemic has really brought a lot of things out of people when they have had to be to themselves, when they had to get to know themselves, and that inner person that's in them, that the equilibrium then fell off a little bit, and they need to go seek help and sit down and talk to somebody. Because I'm sure that we all have talked to somebody that you be like, that motherfucker, they're crazy. So we need to let our people know that it's okay to seek help. And if you got to take medication, please take it. Please take it. Because that's what's going on now. That's why all this killing and shooting, A lot of people should. The kids that still in their cars, y'all should have medicated them kids. They should have medicated those kids because this ADHD and all the rest of the stuff that they got going on, they should have been medicated for, and we probably wouldn't have all this going on. First of all, they should have took some. Never mind. I ain't gonna even say that. I was gonna say they should have took some of the medication and dumped it down.
I personally think that medication is a good thing because some people are past the stage of talking to someone. So I think that medication does stabilize a lot of people to bring them back to their sanity, because a lot of times we can take on so much that we lose who we really are. And sometimes I do think that ADHD is real.
It is.
And I think that some people do need medication to stabilize them as well. Now, when it comes to the other outside drugs, I think that's where it gets tricky.
Yeah, they just got a comment. They said that's the problem. They going to the street pharmacy. That's the problem.
See?
And that's the problem, because now that's a synthetic drug and it's killing them. So a lot of people are saying in our community, a lot of them are saying it won't happen to me. It just happened the day before you. It happened the day before that. And then you take the same drug that 5 people that you know has died from, and you taking the same drug and killing yourself on it. So it's right now I don't know how to reach people about drug abuse. We don't know how to. It's just it's kind of out there, It's crazy. Yeah. Okay.
Another comment. Somebody said they have a friend that needed medication, and they've been around on and off their meds, but they really definitely feel that they need medication.
So I guess the question is, how do you have that conversation with your friend? If it's someone you call a friend, I think that a lot of times it's okay to tell your friend. I think honesty play a big part in it, and I've always wanted people around me that told me the truth about me, because in return, I'm going to tell you the truth about you. I had a friend a long time ago ask me, he said, well, if you really know me, tell me about me. I told him about him, the truth about him, because no one told him. And in return, he stopped speaking to me for 2 years. But he really needed help, though. He needed help and medication. And he stopped talking to me for 2 years. And when I did reunite back with him, he was in counseling. He didn't want to hear that.
He needs it.
I got a question for both of you.
Okay.
They want to know, do you think a lot of the drug abuse is hereditary?
No, I don't think so.
I do. So let me tell you why I do. Okay. So I do because, number one, I'm from the hood. So I know that a lot of times as kids, we're only doing what we saw and think that it's right. So if I'm around drugs all the time and seeing my parents, brothers, sister, aunts, and everybody doing drugs, then quite naturally, as a child, you're thinking, oh, well, that's the right thing to do. So I think it then becomes hereditary.
Okay.
I think that being at a young age, sometimes kids can develop their own mindset. Like my mindset was different to where it's if I didn't want any of it.
Right.
So versus I have brothers that, they smoke marijuana, but I don't recall ever my mom smoking marijuana, but because of all the people that was around them at the time smoked marijuana, that made them in return smoke marijuana. So in my head, I tried it one time. Well, not in my head, but I physically tried it one time, and I choked so bad I thought my tongue was about to come out of my mouth. So I said, okay, that's not for me. So I knew that it wasn't meant for me to do that.
So, well, the reason why I say it's not.
Okay.
Because I feel that if you see what is done to everybody around you, and you seen all these crackheads running around here, and then you turn around and do the same thing, you think that's hereditary?
But I think that's a Scorpio thing. Because that's why I didn't want to do it, though, because I saw the end results.
Right.
And a lot of people don't look at the end results. Yeah, they only look at the moments. Right, yes.
Okay, they're looking for the right now. Okay, because I'm wondering, I'm looking like, I don't know about that. That's kind of, I don't know. Okay. A doctor in New York. Okay, let's see. A doctor in New York said that a child that is born from a mother that is a drug addict makes a more open to become addicted to drugs, and most drug addiction parents have kids have a low tolerance to over the counter drugs. That's true, because even dealing, I teach special education, and a lot of times they in foster care, kids with drug induced parents, they have to have a higher dose of medication because their tolerance is low to the medication. So even with taking them to a psychiatrist, to the doctor, they would give them a higher dose because of their history.
Okay.
Because it won't sustain them. It won't help. So they will have to give them a higher dose. So that is true. That's a true statement.
And I had a client once before, and I knew a lot of drug addicts from my neighborhood that was having kids and stuff like that back in the day, and it wasn't until like recently, recently, probably like the last 4 years, I didn't know that. Like my client, she smoked a lot of marijuana, and so when she went to have her baby, they arrested her. So, and I was like, oh, wow. I was like, well, what I don't get is, so how is these people I know that are on heavy drugs, how they getting out the hospital after having these babies? Are they just running off, leaving the babies?
Because they probably didn't test them for that. Now, she had it in her system and in her hair. It smells. It comes out of her pores in her hair. Now, if they hadn't had the drug, then you can't really detect it. So they're not going to test them for it. But if you came in, you was already high, they're going to test you for it. So that's the reason why. And they will take it. You think you're going to take the baby home, and they'll take it away from you. Yeah. They'll be telling you, you go here where you going, and they're going to contact you about this situation. They will. It happens all the time. So we're going to have to come on through this so we could get to our local news, because we don't have a lot of time. I don't want to keep Monica over the time limit, because I know she got things to do in her schedule. We penciled in. Okay. So, local news. Let's talk about this Beale Street in downtown, and also about this mayor's race. With this mayor's race, I think that we have too many people running. It's too many people running, and some people need to just drop out. They need to let it go. And I hate to call names, but I will, because at this point, they need to just drop out. We need some people that's going to get some changes done in the city. We don't have too many people that's making this city change. Our city hadn't changed in over 20 years. We hadn't had anything to change. Everything looked the same. The only thing we got new is some libraries. I think that's the only thing that we really had new. Convention center. The convention center is new, but I mean, who used it? You know,
they use it for graduations.
That's it. I mean, that's it. That's all.
No, seriously, I don't know anything that is used for either, though.
Anything. I mean, what are we doing? How can we make this city strive? Let's talk about some real strategies. When are we going to talk about some things that's going to change the community? Stop our cars from being stolen. Stop us from being scared to go in the gas station at nighttime. Stop us from being we can't even go to 201 to pay for a ticket. Scared you're gonna get carjacked. Yeah. You know, it's just to the point. What we doing? What kind of city are we living in? We never been have to carry a gun everywhere we go.
Well, I think the gun laws has made that really. I think changing the gun laws like they did has ruined that a lot for a lot of us, because I see the weakest people in the world carrying guns now. I seen a guy carrying a gun, and it was a basket got slammed at the store, and he ducked down. I'm like, you got this big old gun on the side of your pants, and you ducking.
And
So-
that's another thing. Even the people with guns on their hips, the boys going and snatching those. I have seen on TikTok where they will go into the store and see you with your gun on your hip, and they taking them away from you. I'm just, I don't know. This is it's retarded. So then we had a shooting downtown. 8 people were shot downtown. Where was the police? What we
Well, the
doing?
police probably was like, I would have ran ahead. So I
ran
would,
ahead too?
yeah. What I'm?
Nobody shooting back.
Oh no, I ain't, baby. I'm gone. they shooting. Okay, I'm gone. I'm gonna see y'all later.
So even with that, like now they're rezoning the way that you're able to go downtown, so they cutting streets off. But like they were saying on the news, the people going further down by 201 and they doing it down that way, since they can't do it down by Beale Street. So my whole thing is start locking their ass up.
And I, my personal opinion too, though, I think a lot of stuff that is being done, that stuff that is not being taught at home, like you know, backing back up to what you said about the pandemic. I think I think teachers are not paid enough.
Thank you.
I think that during the time of the pandemic, parents really had to learn how to be parents, and a lot of them didn't know how to be parents.
weren't parents
so they
then.
didn't know how to a lot of them already weren't parents, and then during the time of the pandemic, they had to actually step in and be parents and didn't know how.
Right.
So they don't really understand.
Right.
You know, they didn't try to learn, because a lot of people, and it's sad to say this, but a lot of people use sending their kids to school as a way for them to have a break from them.
It's
And
true.
that's not good.
I see a lot of them all the time.
So I think that if parenting went back to old school parenting, then we would have a lot less violence.
right.
A comment said that, when they took away Liberty Land, that was the worst decision. So they said that Liberty Land was a safe haven for a lot of people, a lot of kids, teens in Memphis, and it gave them their first summer job at 14.
It did. I would say Liberty Land, Venture River, Mud Island. Mud Island was even an outlet for kids back in the day. You remember they did shows back in the day? SummerSlam used to be at Mud Island. We all went to Mud Island for SummerSlam. We spent the night at Liberty Land for Labor Day.
I
It was a
remember
whole
that.
lot. Yeah, it was a whole lot that they allowed us to do that these kids don't have an outlet for. So all they got to do is spin out in cars and fight at school, and they don't have an outlet.
Well, here's another thing though. When they took the amusement parks away, the entertainment away from the kids, I do think that was a bad thing. But in return, they brought in Chick-fil-A, which is not only giving your child a job, but it's also teaching them structure. That's when we go back to the thing about structure, because if you ever go to Chick-fil-A, they're always going to say please and thank you. But if you send your
Don't live
child to
by
work,
pleasure.
and my pleasure, they're always going to say that. But if you send your child to work at churches, they're going to then in return have colored hair and a bad attitude. And that's just what it is. You know, if I was going to send my child somewhere to work, I'm going to send my child to work at Chick-fil-A because I want them to learn some structure in their life. I'm not going to send my child to churches or to Debo's Hot Wings or somewhere like that. You know, not reading those places, but I'm just saying, you know, I want my child to be able to learn how to adapt in the world. So when they took those places away, they then brought in Chick-fil-A. So there go your amusement park right there. Send they butt over there to work, and they also, in return, they can get some structure in their
You
lives.
see how frequent they're alive.
What, Chick-fil-A?
13,000 points.
You know, they had the Great in the Dirt program. Too.
Yeah, they did. And
I think that all jobs should use Chick-fil-A training as a model. I really do.
And also, don't forget these jamborees and stuff. Like we had fun. We went to jamborees on Friday night, Thursday nights. We had something to do every day.
Well, you can't do nothing at night anymore.
No,
Here, well, not
no.
here. You can't. Because, I mean, you don't know if you're subject to get robbed
Right.
or shot.
Yeah.
You know, I went to, it's funny though, because I went to the car wash. I have this thing to where it's if I hate to see grass and stuff in my car. So I stopped at the car wash one night and my best friend looked at me. I thought he was asleep. And so he woke up and he said, "What you doing?" I said, "I'm finna vacuum my car." He said, "And get us killed." I said, "They got cameras." He looked at me and said, "Cameras to record crime, not prevent it. Get us the hell away from here." So I had to learn that. I had to start realizing where I am. Like, because in my head, I'm thinking, you know, I'm from the hood, so I ain't too much scared of a lot of
Right.
stuff. But then I had to start thinking realistically now.
Right.
Just because you're from the hood, that don't mean everybody in these hoods know
Know
you.
you, right.
So I had to start thinking realistically
Yeah.
about this too.
So honestly, you have to have those things at home. Those amenities like the vacuum your cars out and stuff like that. I have it at home because I don't want to go anywhere and, you know, be carjacked or somebody want to hold me up for something that I'm working hard for.
But you know what? Let me tell you something. It's funny you said that because what I always tell people is this right here. No matter if we have a car and it's paid off or if we're still making payments on it, as long as you have insurance, we'll never own this stuff. So in my head, I be thinking, well, Chad, if you carjack me and rob me, oh, baby, that's yours. That's between you and the insurance company
But
because you use me for practice. Just
I
don't hurt
want
me
it back.
because
I
I'm
don't
going to
want
give it to you.
though. I don't
Oh, no,
want
it
you
ain't
to
my
tear
car
it
no
up.
more.
I don't want it back because you tear
Oh,
it
no,
up
they tore it up.
I
And
want
if they
you to
didn't,
tear
I'm
it
going to go and finish tearing it up. But that ain't my car no more.
Right, I don't
Baby,
want
you
it
just
back.
use me for practice. That's
Yeah.
that's between you and the insurance company.
Right.
Because I still got to pay them no matter if I paid this car off or not.
Right.
That's still not my stuff.
Right. And I understand that, but in the same talk, I don't want my shit taken.
I don't want mine taken
And then you'll
either.
be almost paying for it, and then they come and
Well, you still got to pay insurance every month, so
Yeah,
you
you
still
still gotta
paying
pay
for
for
it.
it. Yeah, and
You
my
just think
insurance,
you're not paying for it, but you're still paying for it.
my insurance. I'm paying a car note for insurance.
Okay.
Oh, we got to move on. That's enough. We got for a couple of minutes. We got to go into entertainment, real quick. So we got to talk about females and pageantry.
Oh wow. So it's fun. I don't know why you asked me that. So for me, I do think that biological females, born females, when they compete in pageantry, they made a system for them, but a lot of them feel like they don't want to be sat in that box, so they then feel like in return they can compete with girls like myself. I do think sometimes they're given an unfair chance, but I also feel like, so it's kind of tricky for me because I do feel like a lot of times we think very differently than they do. If that makes sense. We think a lot differently, like, because most women, I wanted to be a woman myself because I saw women did really pretty things and stuff like that. So that's why I wanted to be a woman. So when I turned to my other self, I always think outside the box. So I want things really big, really elaborate, and I don't want it to be what I would do in my everyday life. So in return, when females compete against us, they're doing these really pretty things, and I done almost had the whole planet on my back because I want
Right.
all this really big stuff.
Right.
So I think that a lot of times they get it, but they don't really get it.
Well, I say this. I say they have a platform. Stick with your own.
Okay.
That's my place because that platform was built for them, and they already have it. Go home.
See, and that can be tricky too because, and I'm going to tell you why it can be tricky for me. So a lot of pageants in the beginning were created for white female impersonators.
Right.
So then in return, because we would go over there and we weren't treated fairly, a lot of times they then created a lot of black systems to give
Right.
us the equal opportunity to compete and reign just as well as them. So when you say they got a lane on their own,
create their own pageantry system.
they
just the
have,
same
but
as we did.
I think that, so I guess it's kind of tricky though, because if that's the case though, should we be running for white pageants?
We in our own lane. I mean, everybody go home. You know, my thing is, if you feel you can do that, some of us do and some of us don't.
Okay.
But in the same token, I feel like a female should compete with her own kind. Because first of all, the pageant is for female impersonation. It's not a female putting on drag. We trying to be like you. We trying to be just like you. So why are you coming over here and doing as we do? Because this is another thing.
It's also
that I
tricky
have.
too, because
This
a
is
lot of
another
times
thing.
what they don't realize is that a lot of times they do have the upper advantage, and they don't really realize that, because what they do is try to imitate what we're
you're
doing
And
when
that's
they
the
can be
same way.
themselves and tear us up sometimes.
But that's the same way is we've been doing quick weaves for years, and they just starting and they trying to figure out the concept, and we've been doing it for years. When we were bald headed and didn't have no hair back in the day, we were doing quick weaves.
Listen, I'm telling you, my friend Mark Anthony, I seen him take a lady that was completely bald, and she had a head full of braids. This was back in the 80s.
Right.
He took and gave this woman a head full of micro braids. Never in my life had I seen that. But once again, though, that was a gay male that was ahead of his time. You know,
You remember I gave Courtney an afro.
I remember that.
So my thing is the things that they're doing now, we've done, and for a woman to put on lashes long as this
Yeah, I'm
table
just not
here,
wearing them.
I don't understand. See,
This-
I don't understand that, because at this point, female impersonators in shows only wear them on the show.
But then, and then in return, they read us, because then it's so crazy, though, because this reality TV has really came into our box, and they have taken everything that we have done and they have made it mainstream. Well,
Right.
I think a lot of times we sit on our talents to the point to where we taking them to our graves.
Right.
And I think that we should try to utilize your talent and make something out of your talent instead of sitting on it,
Right.
afraid that someone is going to learn what you're doing.
Right.
I used to be offended when people would talk about hip pads and breast pads and stuff like that. Well, now you can go on Amazon and there's
buy
a
your own.
woman, a female, that has now capitalized off selling hip pads.
Right.
And here it is, when I came out, couldn't nobody, I don't care where you were from, couldn't nobody pad like the trans girls in Memphis.
Right.
And instead of someone taking it and capitalize off of it, now you have a biological female that has capitalized off of it and has made it a brand to where she's a millionaire. It's stuff like that we are too afraid of people learning what we know. Yeah, instead of us capitalize off of what we know.
Right.
So a lot of times we stand in our own way.
Right. Yeah, that's true. And at this point, I just feel that I think everybody should stay in their own lane. Shit, I'm just gonna be. Oh, you got a question? Okay. Okay. How would you feel if you were cheated out of a pageant for a female that did pretty stuff only because she is a biological female?
That's a good question. For me, I've never entered a pageant and had high expectations.
Okay.
I try to live my life without having high expectations, because I know that we can get let down. And I think that a lot of times we're more afraid of the letdown than we are of the reality.
And you know why
I
I'm smiling so much? Because I didn't give a damn. I really didn't care. It was just, when I did pageants, I didn't care. I just did them. I just did them. I won, but I did them. You know what I'm saying? It was just, you know what? I had somebody gas my head up. Just gas my head up. And that's the only reason I did them. Because other than that, I don't even think I would have done them.
But I think in life, we're gonna get cheated.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things that we
Because
can't
I
prevent.
never forget when we were standing on that line in Black America. I said, girl, they told us we got to go.
Listen, you know what? But you know what? People always
was
ask me, and I get asked this a lot though. Like, how do you go back so many times? Well, I think in life, in order to be a great winner, you have to be a gracious loser. So there were not times that I've ever competed and didn't realize something that I did wrong.
But you know what? I didn't even think about it. It was just the point of me doing it. I guess.
Now here go the flip side to me competing for so many years at Black America. All the years I competed at Black America, I was on probation, and people didn't know that. I didn't win Black America until the year I got off probation, and this is so crazy. And I never tell people this, but the year I got off federal probation is the year I won Black America, and just so happened the year I won Black America I had just gotten off probation 3 months before the pageant. I had been on probation for 10 years. So when I got off federal probation is the year I won. They asked in registration, if anybody is on probation or parole, please raise your hand or stand. Me and 2 other people were the only 2 sitting down. I was sitting down like, yeah, girl, I'm good now, baby. They ain't never asked this question, so I'm ready now. So I knew then, I said, the odds are in my favor this year. I'm going to win this time. They had never asked that. All the years I've ever been, they had never asked that. That year I won, they asked if anybody was on federal probation or parole, please raise your hand or stand. And me and 2 other people sat there with our hands crossed, and all I kept saying is, girl, I'm good. I got it this time.
Right.
They ain't getting me this time.
So it was so funny because you made a joke of it. And Tanisha was mad as hell. You know?
Oh, because we kept laughing.
We kept laughing.
But you know what? And then I'm going to tell you something else. I always, at the end of a pageant, I used to always say this. And one of my dancers actually had told me, stop saying that. I used to always say, Lord, if it's in your will. And there I go getting sent home to the pageant. I said, well, I guess it wasn't in God's will. So I stopped saying it. But you know what? I'm glad that I won when I did win, because what it did was taught me how to appreciate who I am even more. And I tell people this all the time. I've only left the pageant one time upset, and it was because I really didn't understand. I had competed so many times. I had been first runner-up 3 years in a row, and I kept saying, what am I doing wrong? Like, I fixed the stuff that I thought needed to be fixed, and I really apparently wasn't fixing it properly. Whereas if when I did get my stuff together and start meeting with people, start talking more with people, it taught me how to be it taught me how to communicate even better with people instead of communicating with my own personal friends. And also what it did was it put people in my life that would tell me the truth about being wrong about certain things and the way I thought things should be, or the way I thought things looked when they really didn't look like I thought they looked. You know, in my head I was thinking, oh, this is beautiful. I saw this in a magazine. But not knowing that I'm putting a 200-some-plus pound woman in this stuff, and it's not looking the same like it looked on this model that was a size 3.
Right.
So once I got people in my life, in my circle that told me the truth, I did, in return, was able to appreciate my win.
Right, okay. Well, good. That's good. Because when I tell you, back then it was really fun. I think we just went to have fun. We were really going to have a good time, even though some of the people with us thought they was, you know, they gave all us a bus, and I was doing this. Come on. Come on, y'all.
Listen, but my best friend always joke with me about this, though, because I have competed in quite a few pageants. My best friend always used to tell me all the time, like, if we rode to the pageant together in a group, he would always say, I'm going to catch a ride back. Because he knew that on the ride back home, I was going to stop at every single store on the ride back home. And I had a little problem back then, because I stopped at every single store on the ride back home, and I took what I thought the prize package was going to be from the pageants. You know, I had a little sticky finger problem. Right. So I never felt bad on the ride back home. Because on the ride back home, I was loading my car up. I would leave those pageants with stuff in the trunk, baby. By the time I made it to Memphis from wherever them pageants was, my car would be so full you couldn't see number out the windshield, out of a little hole, because I done felt up the passenger seat, the back seat, the trunk, the window sills and all, with merchandise that didn't belong to me. And you know, so I never was mad.
I didn't have the gown for Black America, and Tasha Pee Wee. Tasha Pee Wee, rest her soul. Tasha P. We came to the house with an arm full of dresses just like this right here. And was like, here, you said you're in hair there, and just laid them on the bed. I was like,
But you know what? That goes back to when we talked about community, though. Community did that. Like, we were friends and competed in pageants together.
Right.
But now it's not like that. It's so crazy, though. And I think that it comes from upbringing and teaching. Like, the teachers have stopped teaching this.
right.
And, you know, it's sad, but it's true. Like, the teachers have stopped teaching that. You know, if we were doing a pageant, you know, we all stuck together and became one and did this. That's one of the reasons why
Tanisha paying everybody in the pageant.
Yes, we looked up to the people from Birmingham so much in pageantry because they would all be in the pageant, be in each other's talent, and they all competing against each other. I thought that was the craziest thing in the world. And then so I tried to get my friends together. Let's do like they do in Birmingham, and we're gonna all get together and we're gonna be in each other's talent. Child was in everybody's talent. Didn't nobody show up for mine. I was out there by myself to my old one love. I know I did. I didn't do old one love. I did. Oh God, I forgot I did some God's song. Child looked for my choir to come out. They ain't came out yet. I said, well, child, I guess I'll be going on back home. Didn't nobody come out. I was in everybody's talent. Nobody showed up.
Right. But you know, those were the days. And I'm so glad that you still doing pageants now, and you just won North America Supreme.
Yeah, I did.
Supreme. Okay, so how was your experience in competing in North America Supreme?
You know, I enjoy preparing for a pageant.
Okay.
The preparation is the highlight for me with getting ready for a pageant. I had a great experience. You know, within getting ready for any of this stuff, you know, we always gonna run into, you know, some designers that ain't gonna do what they say they gonna do. We're gonna run into, you know, it gets bad, and you know, sometimes it bring out,
or they don't make what you wanted. Yeah,
that's it. We get that a lot.
Yeah.
And you know, sometimes it make you get a little inner city.
Right.
And I try to keep that part put up. But
Right.
sometimes you have to get inner city.
Right.
And it's sad, but it's true. You know, sometimes they'll bring out the inner city in you.
Right.
And I try to suppress her.
Right.
Because I don't want people to see that side of me.
Right.
Because you know, I act like I've never been inner city, and I most definitely have never lived in the hood. You know, I lived in Bartlett.
Right.
So I never lived in the hood, so I didn't know what it was like to be inner city. But sometimes people bring that out of you, though.
And
but
you have to show that side.
Yeah, and so now I try to deal with people. I try to get ready early, so just in case I run into those kind of issues, you know,
fix that.
yeah.
Okay.
But you know, the teaching also goes back to why a lot of these newcomers now are sewing for themselves.
Okay.
You know, they've seen some of the experiences that we have, and that we go through, and they just either went through them once and didn't have to show them twice, or they just said, oh no, I'm not gonna do that, and I'm gonna learn myself. So I'm more gracious when it comes to helping newcomers and even scoring them, though, you know, because I know, like, oh child, they had to put this together themselves, you know. But I'm gonna tell them the truth though on the score sheet though, because I'm real honest.
Right.
So it's been an experience, and it kind of almost pushed people away, because I tried to figure out why pageantry was not as big as it was back when I came out. You know, it was a lot of people competing in the pageants, but now you don't have as many contestants. Well, a lot of times these designers and choreographers and stuff like that, they have ruined it so bad for people, to where if people say, oh child, I'm not gonna throw my money away like that.
Right. That's true. That's so true.
And it is a very expensive hobby. I ain't gonna tell no lie on that. I mean, it's a hobby that, I don't even think a drug addict hobby is this high. It's this expensive.
It is. It's expensive.
Very expensive hobby.
Very expensive. So, we got a pageant coming up. Is it this weekend?
It's this weekend. Sunday, actually, Vogue.
Vogue, International Vogue, coming up this weekend. I'm excited. I hadn't been to a pageant, I'm going to say, in about 20 years.
Really?
Really.
So I like the fact that they, because, you know, at one point Memphis was the pageant mecca. Yeah. And, you know, a lot of the previous owners, if they haven't transitioned, they have just said, "Oh well, child, they just not gonna worry about it because it's expensive to throw a pageant."
Right.
So I salute Keetrick and Chris for even pouring their hard-earned money back into it, trying to bring it back to Memphis, bring
Right.
pageantry back to Memphis.
Yeah.
So I do enjoy that, and I always have a good time at pageants because it's almost like it's a reunion. Like for
Yeah.
instance, like you going to the
Yeah,
pageant,
and
and I hadn't seen you at a pageant in, whoo, Jesus, I know
It's been so long.
it's been a long time. It's been a very long time.
At least it's have to be at least 16, 17 years.
Oh
since
wow!
I did. Yeah.
So that'll give us a chance to reunite
Yeah,
all over again.
Yeah, we're gonna have a good time. I'm coming to enjoy and just see what it's about. I hadn't been in so long, so I'm gonna go and just to see what it's about. Yeah. So we thank y'all for tuning in. Like, subscribe, and tune in next week. Next week we normally shoot on Mondays, but we had some timing issues because of this book, the scheduling book. So we had to make some preparations for certain people. But we're looking forward to you coming back and let's talk again.
Listen,
Let's
thank
get
you for
some
having
more-
me. I
I'm
really
so
appreciate
excited that you came out.
Listen,
and
I enjoyed
today.
myself. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for the opportunity
Yeah,
as
so there's
well.
going to be more people to come out and just tune in and tell a friend to tell a friend because I want to get more of our community in and we could talk about different things that's happening in our community outside the patronage system, where we can gain help for our community and different things, what's going on. Those are the things that I want to talk about.
Okay, because there are a lot of resources out here for people in our community and stuff like that, and I think a lot of times people don't utilize their resources, and I
Right.
think that I'm gonna say this. I know we have to end, but I think a lot of times when we go out to clubs and stuff like that to meet people, to party and stuff, we should also use those times to meet people because resources come from people that we are connected with. So we have to start getting connected with people instead of going to the club, just to fight or to get drunk and have to get toted out.
Right.
So we actually should be going to the club to actually meet and network with
Right.
people. That's what I thought the purpose of clubbing was.
And that's what we need to get back to, like brunches and different stuff like that, where we could come together. People that's entrepreneurs and different stuff like that. We need to think about having a brunch once a month for entrepreneurs, people with businesses, so we can network and put out our businesses out there, so everybody would know that it's a networking community.
Yes, we
So we
are
can
a
show
powerful.
together.
We are a very powerful
We're
community.
Very powerful community,
Yes.
and we are everywhere. And it's good to see that Memphis has went everywhere. We are everywhere now, because we got people all over the world now that's doing everything. That we could call their names that was incognito with us. They was at the club with
What's
us.
incognito?
That was the club.
Oh, I ain't never been there. I ain't
You
that
never
old.
been there?
No.
Oh.
The first club I went to was 901.
That was the first one?
Yeah.
I could have sworn you
And
was
then it was
Miss Incognito.
616. No, I ain't never been there.
I thought you was Miss Incognito.
No, I got a friend girl that went, but I ain't never been there.
Oh.
ain't that old?
You ain't that old. Okay.
No.
Okay.
That wasn't me.
Okay,
That
that
was
wasn't
some.
you.
They say we all got a twin. They mistake me a lot for Yo-Yo.
Oh.
Yeah, that was probably her. That wasn't me. Yeah, I went there. I went out
Okay,
there.
that wasn't you.
No,
Okay.
I wasn't even born in '86. But all right, we got to end. Yeah. Let me end
Thank
this.
y'all for tuning in. Please like it.